whatever. But it looks weird because you feel like Dak or Jalen's kind of looking at that like, let's say Zeke does get his new deal and he shows up to the Star in Frisco. What's kind of the feel of that? Like, so was that you talking through him, or what was that about? Because you and your team were taking direct shot like a Dak, taking direct shots at me while I'm still in negotiations. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say don't count another man's money, but then try and undermine his own negotiating ability.
Hmm. I mean, I'm gonna just keep it real. This is how I really feel about it in my heart. Like, this is how I really, really feel about it. I really just don't care about this no more. Like I don't have any kind of feelings toward it. Like, I'm just really doing media with it because I feel like it has to be talked about, but I really don't care about this. And
Yeah.
if I feel like if I don't care about this, I really feel like the players don't care about this. They just trying to get focused on this football. I mean, I'm not sitting there worrying about Ezekiel Elliott. I'm trying to win games right now. And that's, even if that's my boy, I'm not gonna sit there and be worrying about him. Like, we need
Right.
to. If I'm sitting around worrying about him, we ain't winning games. I need to worry and focus on this field, and we need to worry about games. That's what Dak Prescott is on the field. Like I said, he could be holding out as well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
his contract, this is on his last year. He could be doing that, but he hasn't. I mean, he's negotiating as we speak, but he's still on that field, hasn't missed one practice, one training, been out there running, going out there. Why can't you give him? And this is what it is. We talk about Ezekiel Elliott with this, but at the end of the day, this comes down to this. The Cowboys are going into week one until the Giants looks like, I don't know, let's say you don't have Ezekiel Elliott.
Right.
Well, to me, this is what it comes down to. Dak can shut everybody up
Yeah.
because everybody says, or so many people say, this team runs through Ezekiel Elliott. Without Ezekiel Elliott, you're hearing on the news, you're hearing on Sports Center, you're hearing on NFL Network, you're hearing on this. Without Ezekiel Elliott, Cowboys ain't no playoff team. They ain't winning nothing without Ezekiel Elliott. They're saying we can't do nothing without Ezekiel Elliott. So to me, this is prime time for Dak to just shut everybody up. Like, you know what? We winning and we winning games. And don't think like Jerry Jones ain't gonna be watching this if we run winning games and Tony Pollard is doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
That he's not gonna be sitting back like, okay,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna sit here and gotta sign you. So it's gonna go twofold. Maybe Zeke's camp was looking to see if we were gonna fail, but I told y'all, and just like I told you, and you already know, we already talked about this. People were saying, I said they drafted two running backs. Mike Weber's not getting these opportunities, but Jordan Chun has stepped up,
Mm-hmm.
and they got Morris back because of the Zeke thing. But at the end of the day, they drafted two running backs in that draft for a reason. They said it was hearing that Zeke Elliott was going to possibly hold out in January.
Yeah.
We wrote the article. We was talking about it then, and I wrote the article. You wrote the article before me, and then I wrote the article. We both wrote two articles,
Mm-hmm.
and it was about this thing that was going to happen with Ezekiel Elliott, that he was going to possibly hold out. So they prepared themselves too.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. Oh, they was just trying to get two running backs to take your carries away. No, they weren't. I don't care what people tell me. You don't have an all-world running back, and you draft two running backs in one round, and you got an all-world running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just release carries from him?
Right.
Seriously? No, you thought and knew something.
Right. And the thing is, even in relief last year, Rod Smith, I think, got 52 carries. So, like, that's, you don't have Rod Smith anymore. So you have those carries you can give to Pollard. For instance, the template that people will point to for what, because Pollard played kind of the hybrid between receiver running back at Memphis. So the comparison for your ideal comp, I think, for Pollard would probably be around Tavon Austin circa 2015, I think it was. This was a stat I saw put out by JJT initially. In that season, Tavon had 52 carries and 52 receptions, 1,000-yard season total yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 receiving, 4 rushing. That is so well balanced and multifaceted. Obviously, we don't have that version of Tavon at this point, but having something like that is promising in Pollard. But yeah, you're not getting Pollard to make him your every down back. That was never the intention with that. But that's not to say that he's, people got this weird thought with Pollard because when they drafted him, somebody, and no disrespect to UNT's own Lance Dunbar, but somebody was like, oh, so he's like a third down, like a Lance Dunbar type, a third down kind of back. He's not a little dude like Dunbar. He's 6'2", 205, I think. Like, he could bulk up a little bit, I guess, but he's not a little dude. He's 6'2". That's Zeke's height, right? 6'2", I think.
Nah, Zeke is about 5'11", 6 foot.
Okay. So
Pollard's about 6. He's about 6 foot, 6'1", because I seen him closely. He's about my height. I'm about 6 foot, 6.5. So I say he's about that 6.5. He's close to 6'1", but he's thicker than people think. He's linear. You know, you can tell he could get some weight, but he's the type of back I don't want him to get all kind of weight. They got him to back up Zeke, yes, but just in case you hold out Zeke, we feel like we got a running back that's dynamic, and we're going to draft another running back because he's a back that played at Ohio State, and he shared the load too. You know what I'm saying? He's had experience, and he's a back that runs between the tackles. So our thought pattern is, if that happens, then we got a guy named Jordan Chung. So if our thought pattern is, we're going to get rid of Rod Smith because you hold leverage. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a business. So if we kept Rod Smith and you think about holding out and we ain't drafting no running backs, we dead in the water. We're paying you right now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But know what? We're going to protect ourselves. This is a business. And this is what I'm going to talk about, a business. Like, you're an employee and this is the employer, right? So the employer he got money, and his employee, Zeke, coming to work and is a monster, right? Mm-hmm. But Zeke like, I want a raise. And we like, I want a raise, so I ain't coming to work. So maybe, you know, let's just keep it like that, like that's happening. So they hire a few people. You know what their hope is? That these guys can be good and we can still maintain this fort and run the business. Okay? Yeah. So that employees are sitting out of the house like, I'm hoping they fail.
Right.
Because then y'all gonna pay me my money and show me tell me and make me appreciate it love what I would deserve. And we ain't like you don't like me or love me, but come on, dog, stop playing me like that. It'd be just like anything else. And they're like, man, well, we gonna see. If this employee comes in and does your work just as good as you, or real good, I'm gonna be like, okay, well, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna pay you.
Right.
I don't know if I'm gonna pay you, because guess what? I got some guys over here and we're still doing good. Production still good. We're still making money. Why am I gonna have to pay you that money right now when I got guys who are making less money doing what you're doing? Yeah. And that's what they're thinking. So it's going both ways, because if they don't do good, they're gonna be like, all right, man, what's up? Let's talk.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And if the holdout does, like, it looks like it will stretch into the regular season a little bit, if his numbers do, or if the Cowboys struggle out of the gates, particularly the run game, you know, they have what should be a 3-0 start with the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins. Miami's in a total tank situation now. They're not even really going to put up much of a fight this year, I don't think, but you should be able to get out to a 3-0 start. But if you trip up and lose one, or God forbid, two of those things, knock on wood, you're gonna have a very different tone in those negotiations from Zeke.
And we know that.
Yeah,
we know that. Everybody's watching it. Everybody's watching Week 1.
Yep.
New York Giants. If Zeke Elliott not there, you don't think Jerry Jones? Everybody is watching this to see what's going to happen. And if Dallas comes through that game, Dak plays really good, and Tony Pollard looks nice, well, you know what's going to be saying in the news?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And guess what? If we flop and look bad, you know it's going to be saying in the news. So that's what everybody's watching and what's going to see. You get what I mean? We're going to find out if Dak Prescott, people are going to find out if in their hearts, is he the real deal, because they said he can't win without Zeke. Zeke's going to find out if he's going to be one of the highest paid by seeing if we win games or lose games. And that's just what it is, and that's just what it's about in that particular situation with Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah. How long, out of curiosity, hypothetically, how long do you think, if the Cowboys don't struggle without Zeke, let's say they do get off to something like a 4-1 start, or do you think it even goes 5 games? How long do you think it basically goes before Zeke's basically forced to come back in? Because I don't think he literally sits out the whole year. I think if the offense is still churning, I think at some point he'll have to report, because he wants to be here. He wants to be part of the team and what they're doing. And
especially if we win it. If we win it.
And he understands that even if the team is doing well without him, they're that much better with him. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, his representatives, his team might want the Cowboys to struggle out of the gate. Even a little part of him might want that just so it can ensure he gets his money. But at some
that's reality.
Yeah, at some point, if they aren't struggling, he's probably going to have to come to terms with that and show up. At what point do you think that would happen?
I think it's when they're talking about that week 6. I mean, I'm hearing about that. I don't know all the ins and outs of that. That's what I've been studying on and reading about. But, when he was first reporting, they were saying, oh, you got to report by this time. You know what I mean? So you had to
Yeah.
check up on that. I mean, honestly, I didn't think DDP, I didn't think it was going to go this far. And, I thought the possibility of a holdout could happen, but I didn't know it would come to this length until you started seeing in there about the age,
Mm-hmm.
the extension, the time, because it's real. Running backs have to get that paid. Like when they hit like that 23, that's when 24, they got to start asking for that money because they know what these teams are going to do to them. Them teams are going to, especially if they draft you in the first round, they're going to run you all the way to that 5th-year option, and then they're going to see if your body can take it. And if your body is broke up and broke down, they're going to release you. And that's just what's going to happen to you. And they don't care how good you work. And Ezekiel Elliott is seeing that. So, like I said, I see both sides. I see Ezekiel Elliott saying, I know I got 2 years on my deal. I get it. But like you said, Gurley's, the Rams messed up the market. The Rams didn't have to do that. If the Rams didn't do that, we probably wouldn't even be having this situation with Ezekiel Elliott. The Rams messed everything up by oversigning Gurley. He's got the little bit of the knee issues. Yeah, he's a beast, but he's still a running back. Any given play, that leg could be blown out. Then what?
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Quarterback has more chance to keep on playing because they have the offensive line that protects them, and the league protects quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And receivers don't get hit like that every single play. So that's why they can make that money, because a receiver can play till he's 34, 35, 36. A receiver can do that. A quarterback can play till he's 34, 35, 40. Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, all them guys were in late 30s. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because they can do that. Where do you see running backs 35, 36, 37? That's not happening. They don't last that long. And that's the truth. And so they know they're either going to use them up and not pay them, or they're going to get that money now. But once again, when Gurley messed up, when that Rams messed up with that, now we got this situation with Zeke. I'm thinking it could go to that week 6, and Zeke is going to see if we struggle, or his agent, they're going to see if the Cowboys are struggling or not. That's what they're going to be watching. And if the Cowboys come strong out the gate, we got 5 NFC games. And like I said, we got 4 of them. We got 5 games. 4 of them are NFC games. 2 are back-to-back NFC East games.
Yep.
Giants and the Redskins. The Redskins going to be a problem. I don't care if they got no quarterback. The situation, I think Haskins is going to be okay. But at the end of the day, they're going to have that defense. They're going to have a good front line.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That front line going to give us some problems, and we're going to see. And we ain't the healthiest between Zach Martin and Tyron Smith. So it's the watch, dog. I'm thinking that if it's going this far, they're going to keep it going.
Yeah.
And they're going to see preseason is one thing, the regular season. Win these games in regular season or lose these games in regular season. That's where we're going to find out the thought pattern. If we come out losing 0-3 or something like that, Zeke getting signed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we come out there 3-1, like you said, 4-1, then Jerry ain't gonna be jumping to sign no Zeke. And you know damn well Stephen Jones ain't gonna be jumping out there to sign him, especially if they win it. And if we win it convincingly,
right?
Defense dominate and that run game look good. I know it's preseason, but if it looks good like it's been looking in the preseason, man, he just gonna be sitting back like, okay.
Yeah. No, it's humbling for sure. And you touched on earlier how quarterbacks and wide receivers, they kind of age more like a fine wine in a sense, where their value increases a lot of times as they get older. Now, receiver, once you hit 30, your value tops off, but it doesn't just bottom out. Running back, if you go north of 30, typically you're going to bottom out.
You make it that long.
Unless you're like an Adrian Peterson and even
or Frank Gore.
Exactly, yeah. Those are like your 2 exceptions in that group there. But a running back, you got like one real shot at a high-value contract. And so I guess that's why Zeke is trying to twist the Cowboys' arm as much as he can, because he's trying to build on the Todd Gurley deal, which, as you said, broke the market because nobody was giving that kind of money to running backs, let alone setting the precedent for giving it to him 2 years early. And that messed it up. And Zeke knows, hey, if I wait one more year before I would normally be into contract negotiations with them, 1, the market will have reset, and 2, that's another year of wear and tear on my body.
Wear and tear.
And that's something that no one else has accounted for them in that regard. They don't look at a receiver and go, I don't know, he's run 800 slants in his career. That's a lot, you know? Like they don't put some arbitrary number on you. Running backs, they absolutely do. Zeke had 2,001 all-purpose yards last year. That was roughly either 36 or 37% of the Cowboys' total offensive production. I get it. He is, for the most part, the engine behind the offense. He's not everything of it, but he is a driving force within it. And that has value. I get that. But, 77 catches last year, 300, I think, 4 total carries. That's a lot of wear on a guy year after year after year. He's done it 3 years. He has 2 rushing titles, would be 3 if not for the suspension for 6 games, we presume. And 2 Pro Bowl appearances as well. Like we get it. He is an elite running back, and he's just looking at it and saying, "Hey, I got to jump on this now." While Gurley messed up the market, set the precedent, and
Rams messed up the market because they didn't have to do it.
Right. So he's looking at it like that. Like, I need to capitalize on this now because the market will reset. The closest anyone else has come to making that same mistake is the Jets with Le'Veon Bell, and they outspent themselves. They almost negotiated against themselves at one point because they didn't have to give them that much money. They overspent when no one else was really knocking at the door with anything in that same ballpark. So, and that's what the Cowboys tried to then walk it back and base it on. Like, oh, no, this is really what the market looks like right now. The Gurley thing was a fluke because, man, he's not even like a featured back anymore. They just drafted Darrell Henderson in the 2nd round. Nah, man.
Well, I'm saying they need to look at. That's true, but they did that too because if you got a knee injury and you're a running back, they're definitely going to do that. I would do that for myself. Just as a management, I would protect myself. Like I said, man, it's crazy because as a running back or Zeke Elliott, you see, it's just like with the number. It ain't about if he asked for that number. It's about the Cowboys ain't gonna pay that number. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I mean, he could ask for that or say that's what we want. Cowboys ain't paying that. Stephen Jones ain't doing it. He done said time and time again since he's really took over that regime of that money. We not doing that no more. We ain't said no markets for nobody. You get what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, we did that before. Yeah, we did that before with some of the linemen.
Yeah, they're not doing that no more.
Yeah,
even Tyron Smith.
Yep.
I mean, he got a big deal back in the day, but it's like a bargain for him right now. Like, they got good deals, but the deals that the Cowboys have signed, they're not killing themselves any longer. You get what I'm saying? They're not going to sign even DeMarcus Lawrence. His deal didn't set the market. Like, he's not killing it as far as like having forever money. No, it's like that front-loaded type contract where guess what? After about 3 or 4 years, and I think the Cowboys are going to do that with all these guys. Like 3 years, we see what you looking like after
front
3.
Load, yep.
After that, if you ain't looking good, we ain't going to keep doing that where they come, let's take some money out and what's that, what they be doing? They always be doing with the player. Yeah, restructuring. It'd be bothering me. Like, they ain't don't try to restructure. Like, after 3 or 4 years, if it ain't working, cut them and then you see with the dead money on the cap and you can still move on and not be hurt, and you drafted young players to come right in their way. That's what they're trying to do. Yep. And they're going to do that with everybody that's on the roster now because they're not going to have themselves go back into that, so quote unquote, they say cap hell. So I just don't know how it's going to play out because of the numbers. I'm just not that numbers dude. My thing is I don't really care. This is just the time for me, for Dak Prescott to shut everybody up. That's the only thing I'm thinking about right now. Ezekiel ain't here, okay, but the team ain't look bad. So I'm not sitting there crying the blues. I want Zeke there like the next man. But I ain't crying the blues about it. They got Tony Pollard. Let's see what this young boy can do. Can't sit there crying and worry about if Zeke Elliott's there or not, dog. Season starts next week. We can't keep crying about if Zeke Elliott's there. Tony Pollard's there. We'll see what the other guys that they keep at running back. And hopefully, like I said, Zach Martin and Tyron Smith is looking good. If they looking good, that's when I feel good. Because Tony Pollard has been running pretty good with that line, and they ain't been playing.
Exactly. And, in the dress rehearsal, he still looked good in that. And that was running against, that's kind of a weird game. Like, it was the dress rehearsal for the Texans. But I really felt like the entire body language of the Texans as a team changed right after that Lamar Miller injury. He tears up his ACL. And I think that kind of I think that took the fight out of them. Like,
anything can happen as preseason game. You just had your top dog go out
on his first carry of the year, like preseason and all that. Yeah.
So That's why they took Watson out. After he got hit by Taco, yeah, they was like, oh, yeah, you done.
Yeah,
But
he got hit a couple times, too,
right.
Watson did. So, and he was the most sacked quarterback in the league last year, too. So it's ridiculous how all that works, and I think that kind of skewed things a little bit. But Pollard, for what we did see of him going against the number one defense, did look good, even when we didn't have our number one O-line out there. So they're going to have to see what they have in Pollard. They're going to have to figure out something else. I don't know if Alfred Morris comes in. If they don't have something worked out with Zeke, I think Morris probably stays on as the veteran leader in the running back group. I don't know if they carry anyone outside of that. I mean, you'll have Olawale, of course. I'm talking about, like, if it's a Chun. I don't think Weber's going to make the cut at this point. But they have some things to figure out for sure, and we're going to find out real quick how integral Zeke is to the mix. Yeah, it's going to give us very important answers. It's something you'd almost – you're curious.
I want to see. I'm ready.
But at the same time, it's like you'd rather it be sorted out. Like, I'd
rather
Zeke be
but
here.
Who cares?
Yeah.
You feel me, DDP, though? You feel me? Who cares?
Yeah.
It's like, so what? Like, hey, Zeke, you here you ain't. And that's the way the game of sports is played. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And once again, even when you look at the comments and just on the outside world, dog, it's almost motivating, not hating on Zeke, anything like that, promise you, but it's almost like the motivation, like, yeah, teams just act like we ain't nothing. If I'm in the locker room talking to my players, like, hey, we won Zeke. Everybody, we know we won Zeke here, but teams act like we nothing without him. Yeah. What? Now we about to just go in here and show you who we are. With him or without him, we still going to smash you. And that's the kind of attitude that I want the team to partake of, that whether the dog is here or not, we still going to smack you. And we still got weapons to beat you. And that's what I want the Cowboys to be able to do, if Zeke is there or not. Because once Zeke get there, when he does, it's just going to be icing on the cake. Because then if you got Pollard and Zeke come right in, boom. But the thing is, guarantee you, this is the Cowboys. If Pollard comes out there balling, I mean running, and then Zeke come back in, you ain't going to hear people talking trash about, oh, why you got to have Zeke back there now? Pollard may be better.
Yeah.
Watch.
It always happens.
Watch it happen.
Always.
Watch it happen.
Yeah, everyone is a prisoner of the moment, basically, as it happens. Anything that happens in that moment is either like the worst thing ever or the best thing ever, and it always lacks the context and actual objective comparison and reasoning. But yeah, so there's a lot for the team to figure out. Again, I know we've talked about this a lot. I feel like you and I were the first two people that actually saw this and understood this was where we were headed. Not, at the very most recent, we called this out in January, and
that's why we ain't tripping. That's why I'm not tripping over this situation. Knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. We called the holdout. We called the kind of the arguments that would be used and the discussions that would be had. And they've all largely played out as we called it, and
exactly how we called it.
Yeah, and we've had people even at the time when we were talking about it, we had people that we work with thinking that
You're
we were
crazy.
Yeah, and
you're stupid.
You're
dumb.
It just played
Fake
out
news.
that way eventually,
Fake
where
news. Fake news.
It's not like speaking it into reality or anything like that. It's just we looked beyond.
It's the business.
Yeah, we looked beyond it and saw the bigger picture. And said, hey, you might want to look for this because I could easily see this happening. In fact, this probably will happen. And then boom,
it's
it
exactly about to happen, because this is a business and this is reality. And if you don't look at the business side, I mean, even when the thing happened to Dez Bryant, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say I took full credit, but I was talking about that Dez Bryant thing before. Nobody was even saying that. When I said something about Dez Bryant possibly getting cut into next year, people were like, you're crazy. I was saying no, because I'm looking at that production and they're going to be looking at that contract, and they're going to come at him and say, we're going to let you go because we don't feel like you can do that anymore. And it was quick. And I felt like it was, but I didn't believe it. You feel me? Like, you feel like it, just like the Zeke thing. But I felt like it was going to happen because you could just see it formulate, and just the numbers. This is a numbers game. Like, you can be as sweet as you want, but it's a numbers game. And if them numbers ain't matching up, dog, they'll cut you. And if your production ain't matter, they're cutting you. That's just the way it is. So I just be looking like how the Cowboys be trying to think and how they're going to do their players, and then go by their patterns. They call it patterns and trends. I worked at this job at Alliance Data, dog, and they call this thing called patterns and trends.
Mm-hmm.
And it would throw me off like patterns and trends. But then I would think about it, and I was like, why is it patterns and trends? They're like, because of what you do habitually becomes patterns and trends. So if you do it here and there, okay, but if you're doing it all the time, that's patterns and trends. So
Right.
that means that's what we're going to be watching and looking for now, because now it's a pattern and it's a trend that you're doing. And I feel like it's the same thing. How the Cowboys go back, they do patterns and trends is how they bring in players, how they're trying to pay players. So you can't look at your heart and, oh, blah, 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 him. No, it's how them numbers is adding up now.
Yep. Yeah.
It ain't how sweet you are. It's them numbers, and they're saying it clear as day. Them numbers got to match up.
Yep. No, 100% agree, and they're gonna have to figure that out. But it's gonna be a good season, man. It's gonna be a very
It's
interesting
still gonna be a good season, dog.
We got a lot in store. I got articles and stuff that I'm writing for Clutch Points and all that. You're doing some writing as well for Prospect, the DallasProspect.com. And yeah, we're gonna be on here, I think, pretty regularly again throughout the season. Definitely be doing our normal once or twice a week show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, James, tell them where they can find you as we get ready to wrap this thing up.
Well, you can definitely find us on Silver and Blue Nation. Big Game James, more of the Big Game James page is on Facebook. I also do Facebook with Silver and Blue Nation. But definitely, if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube page. We're definitely trying to continue to build. It has grown very rapidly, and I appreciate everybody who's shown love and like and subscribe to the page. So continue to do that. We love that. Also, check us. Our platforms. Our Instagram is growing. Also, our Twitter page. I got a guy named Ryan Humphrey. He is on the team now. He's really been going hard on our Twitter page. Really brings up a lot of good points and things. And I like how he makes you kind of think and tries to bring out the talk. So please go check out our Twitter page as well, because it's definitely going on. Definitely got a lot of good things going on. So you want to check that out. And we just out here grinding. We've talked before, and I'll say this to everybody who's listening. We're trying to be that independent brand, that independent network, everybody working together, but still having their own independent kind of label. Just like you see the Wu-Tang Clan. It's like the Wu-Tang Clan, they had all them guys, all mad different styles, but you know what? They could break off and do their own album, make their own thing, but you know what? They could all still come back and make a big collab and make money. So that's why I feel like we all are doing in this underground thing and should try to do. And please support DDP, the Dallas Prospects, how long they've been going on. As he says, he's been writing for the Clutch Points. Just started that. He's been on his grind. A lot of good things are opening up. So you want to support his work and our work in general. So you like and support. You have to donate and support so we can get stronger and grow and continue to give y'all good content that y'all want to see and love.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. But yeah, so check it out. Also, as he was talking about, check out and support Silver and Blue Nation as well, his page, Big Game James. And we will be back throughout the season. The Cowboys game just went final. The Buccaneers won 17-15. So 2-2.
I want to see how many tackles Phillips had, because he had like 7 in the first. He had 5 in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying?
Let me see. I can check it real quick.
Yeah, check it right quick. Yeah, check it right. Let's see all
this. And then we'll jump off. Chia.
All
right. Let's see.
We'll let that. I guess. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
But he just comes in, 11 tackles, dog. Come on, man. Daniel Wise had 2 sacks. Ooh, okay.
Wise is definitely trying to make a push, but I just don't know that there's much room left for him.
Yeah, he's on that practice squad for sure.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, so that's going to wrap it up for this show. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hang tight. We will be back. And next time we're on here talking Cowboys, we will be previewing the New York Giants season opener at the Death Star, as they call it, AT&T Stadium. Till next time, guys, I've been DDP for Big Game James. Remember, every legend was once a prospect. Salute.
All day.